I wasn't trying to do that.
No, I know.
I've seen the look of it.
Yeah,
Well, I've
like,
seen it.
well, I had it tonight.
Oh, that wasn't nearly as bad as what I've seen.
Oh, Meredith today.
I don't know how you guys do this for an hour.
Yeah, because we're just talking about nothing.
Running, man.
Yeah.
Just running.
All right, guys, you're watching the Forum First podcast right now. We have a special guest with Keith Millard and Joe Militello, as always. I was looking back at our podcast dates, and we're almost at a year now. Do you realize that?
No.
You didn't
I just know. I didn't notice that. I
Yeah.
noticed the numbers are off though.
They're always off. We have a couple like hidden mystery ones that we've lost.
Yeah. Sometimes you count them. Sometimes you don't. And then you'll double up.
That's
There's
typical.
228s, I think. I'm like,
I stood out in the snow, I think, for the second one, trying to hold a sign up in the window.
Yeah. What did the sign say again?
One of them said Militello for president, I think. And the other one was happy birthday to Emily, because it was her birthday that day, too. Yeah.
oh, that's right. It was.
Yeah, it was
I
her
remember
birthday.
that.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Well, so you've been Syphusing for how long now?
4 years, 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in March.
Okay. And what I think is really unique about you is that you've experienced every turf.
Yeah.
You know, you've been to everyone except for LA.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to happen.
You go out there. So, the first thing I want to hear from you is like, what do you think the vibe is at like each location? Like, everyone's got its own unique flavor. I kind of want to hear like your take on it.
Well, you know, it's when you're here, when you start working out here, and you're at this one. The people that were here when I started, obviously, had been doing this from the beginning. This was the only turf, so it made a big difference with the group, and everybody knew each other, and you felt like you were walking into a group that knew each other right away, and that kind of thing. And it was more of a, it was very competitive. It was always very competitive, but it was a little bit more subdued as far as. The competition level was really high, but sometimes the energy was like fluctuating a little bit. Like sometimes the energy was high, sometimes it was low. Brownstown, the few times that I've worked out there, that place is insane.
Yeah.
It's the music's loud, the trainers are on point with what they're doing. Not to say anybody else isn't, but they're so involved with what they're doing there. Mm-hmm. They're all over the place. I've only been to Shelby a couple times. I've worked out with Jim a couple times. I've worked out with Jenny Baker was there a couple times. When you were there, I was there a couple times. So I wasn't there very often. Totally different turf with the way that the turf is kind of like a dip.
Well, it's not nearly as bad as Royal Oak was.
Royal Oak was like working on an SOS pad.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
But when we were like putting the turf together, there was a center line. Like the other locations don't have a center line. Just like this little crease here, it came up like that. And so you'd push and you go boom.
Yeah, I remember the first time we were there, we were doing a plate push or something, and the turf was literally like rolling in front of the plate because it just wasn't. It wasn't settled down enough yet.
See, but there's something about that I don't like that as like the person who installed it and paid for it. I don't like that, but it's almost like playing basketball and like Madison Square Gardens was like notorious for having like the dead spot on the court. Yeah. So it's kind of like each one has its own.
Yeah, and then you have Harrison Township. And I like going to Harrison Township a lot.
You're kind of like a dual member between here.
Yeah, I spend my summers in HT, I guess is the best way to put it. The heat in that building, I love it. The hotter the better. And I don't know why, but when it's 90 degrees outside and full of humidity, I love working out there.
And it's
crazy.
Turf.
Sticky as can be.
Yeah.
It's a whole new experience, and people there are great. The trainers are all great. I have a good time there, but it's definitely a different animal. It is definitely the swamp, and everybody should experience that place.
I agree.
In the summer.
I think they should experience all of them, but that if you're ever complaining about the turf being sticky or my plate doesn't slide, try Harrison.
Just go to Harrison Township for a day.
It was crazy seeing so many people go at one time there on Saturday.
So Saturday we did the Crawl for the Cure, and that was a cancer awareness charity. I don't know if it was breast cancer specifically or not, but we we did crawls, and that was this past Saturday, and it was awesome. I thought it was really cool.
Yes, it was. I
didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you didn't interrupt me. I was trying to think if there were more people going at once because there weren't plates or not, but there was just a lot.
How many were there? Usually you can fit 11 to 14.
I think he was fitting 13.
That's normal here.
Crazy.
With all that crawling, though, I had to get kind of kind of wacky.
It was spaced out enough
was
where
fine,
yeah.
it didn't look like any.
Yeah.
There was like sort of by the pole. There was a couple times where there was little dicey turns, but other than that, it didn't seem like anybody.
I tried to bait
bumped
people
heads.
into waging more on your by lowering your boulder, by calling out your boulder on that so bad. I tried to get more people to match me on that.
I was literally coming out of the bathroom and I just looked at my phone and you text me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did, because then I just posted something on Facebook and got to raise some more. And
Yeah.
he talked me into a couple
So
things.
what happened? No one knows what you're talking. You said you were gonna.
Yeah.
What were you gonna do?
He
What did you
I was
sponsored
doing
me.
$1 a length for every crawl that he did. So,
dollar length every crawl.
So if he did 40 crawls, it was $80.
All right. So he's working out, and I was given updates, and I think I gave a couple updates, like 20
Yeah.
minutes in, 40 minutes in, or whatever,
Updates of my workout.
of how many tests or how many crawls you had done so far. And as you're working out, me and a couple other people were talking about just certain form or techniques. It wasn't even a criticism at all. There was just we were talking about the different ways we saw.
Your decaf.
Decaf
Okay,
being
yeah,
done.
yeah.
So it was getting to the point where he was about to get to decaf, and
And this is
So-
I never do this.
so we were
right?
talking, and we're like, oh, it's fine. There was like 10 minutes left, and it was like three tasks away. So we're like, oh, Mike's gonna get there for sure. We'll just watch him do it. So there was, I believe, Caitlin was next to you, and she was, I think, a task ahead of you. And she goes and does decaf, blah, blah, blah. So we're then waiting for you to do decaf. And
I
then
think
all
I
of a sudden,
told her I'm skipping.
No, you probably
Yeah,
did, yeah. But we didn't hear. It's
Right,
one of
yeah,
those things.
yeah.
She's right next to you. We're over here, and then all of a sudden he's not doing decaf. He's doing the next crawl. And we're like, whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
what's happening right now?
What's going on?
Yeah. So I had to go
Form
over there.
first my ass.
Yeah.
Everybody
So I went over there. I'm like, he's like, oh no, I told her I'm skipping. I told her I'm skipping. I'm like, well, no. I go, no,
That's not
no,
good.
it's
That's
not
not
gonna fly.
acceptable.
You gotta go do it.
I at least had to demonstrate it so everyone else could see.
I go, we
it. So
needed the demo, so he just did it to 2, I think.
I did line 3.
Yeah, and then I'm like, that's fine. We saw what we needed to see.
I skipped it
was
because I want to
done.
get a couple more crawls because that one takes me 3 minutes.
Oh, when?
Well, so you didn't want to donate more money?
just kidding.
Shit, I want to do it too. So,
So that, but I did make up for the slowdown because he was doing
Mastodon into
whatever he was
reverse.
doing forward. The next task was reverse, so we got here and he was going to stop. I'm like, no, just go backwards to get an extra half.
It was
So-
good because I didn't know what was next too. So you're like, just go reverse, and I was like, I know what you mean. Just go reverse bear crawl.
Nice.
So yeah, I got
Yeah,
that
that's good
extra.
cause though. Good money.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's good
it
to
was a
see
good time.
everyone there, and
I had a golf outing.
you gotta do that.
Yeah, it's got to do that.
So
It was decent weather for that too, huh?
It's
Sun
chilly.
was out,
Wasn't
but yeah, it
bad.
was a little chilly.
Wasn't bad.
I got some good video too, so I'm gonna put together a promo video for that, and people who weren't there can see like what we were doing. It's
Nice.
pretty cool. So one thing I wanted to go back to, you mentioned, talking about the other locations and stuff. With this platform that we have with the Form First podcast, I would like to reach more people at those locations because I feel like we're always grabbing people from the mothership because that's where I'm at most frequently. Whereas before, when I was at the other places, I could probably just set up shop and do that because I'm sure there's a ton of people that we could, get their story. Or,
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that I would just
Absolutely.
love to reach. So, I mean, if you're watching or listening, if you got someone to suggest that we interview or have on the
Should bring the
podcast.
whole fire department in from Sterling Heights that works out.
Oh my gosh, that'd be have a
Just
panel.
Line them up. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Gosh, that'd be funny. And I want to get the owners of both Brownstown and Shelby in here. We tried Brownstown, but there's a lot of logistics.
Oh yeah,
it's-
totally.
It's
Especially
not around the
75.
corner.
Yeah,
No.
It's a 4-hour round trip.
yeah. 75 was in better shape, then that would be easier.
That's so true.
yeah.
So let's talk about some music because I know that we're all kind of, I don't want to say music snobs, but I think we know a great deal about music. You play the drums. I try to play the guitar. Oh, have you played
I played a trumpet.
trumpet? Is it trombone straight out?
Yeah, yeah. It's nothing like that.
No.
Yeah.
So let's.
I own a trumpet.
Do you really?
Yeah, I played it in school.
I thought you were bullshitting. I thought you
no,
were
for
kidding.
real. Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah.
Nice.
Did you think he was serious?
Totally. He said I played the French horn, the baritone.
Well, I played the clarinet, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
You, s-
hold on. So
I totally didn't believe you when you said
they
that.
don't believe you, Joe.
He's a smart ass a lot of times. I thought you were kidding.
All right, so I don't want to derail.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't want
go.
to derail this, but I'll just derail your thing now. Okay, so a lot of times when I talk to you, you get a glaze over your face.
Yeah.
And
I know that glaze.
yeah, it's a combination of are you serious?
Right.
Or I have no idea what the hell you're saying, but I'm just gonna let you
Pretend,
talk,
yes.
and then
I'm totally thinking of something else right now.
yeah.
You
So
can
that
just keep
happens,
going.
and then hours go by, and I realize you have no clue what I was talking about, and that's why you just made that face, or you. It's like one of those things where you don't hear someone's question, but you don't want to ask them what they said again, so you're just like, yeah, and
Especially
yeah,
if
it
it
doesn't
work
work
out.
to that answer at all.
Right.
That's sort of what we get a lot.
And dude, it's not for me being dumb or not.
No,
like,
no.
Yeah.
No, I have.
Or not
No, I'm not
receptive.
done. I'm not
Okay.
done.
Okay.
It's you self-proclaimed that you sometimes live under a boulder. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I created a game.
What?
Does Mike live under a boulder?
Oh, okay. So I know where you're going with this, right?
So I have a game. I made a
Is it
game.
an app?
Well, it's not an app, but it's close.
Okay. What was it?
Mike's Keith's gonna know how to play this
Okay.
game.
All right.
So here's how the game's gonna work.
Did you guys set this up already?
Not at all. I
So-
have no idea what he's talking
Is this kind of going the direction that we've been texting lately? I have to consult him for like
Yes.
pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
I have to ask him like when we had Toriana.
Dude, I'm probably under that boulder too, bro. Pop culture means out.
When we had Toriana on the last podcast. He said something to Toriana like, "You're just living your best life," and I was like, "Ha ha, ha yeah," just kind of pacifying. Yeah, you're living your best life, and it's a song. And I had no clue.
I would have no idea either.
So now I'm like every week I'm asking him a question like, "Who's this?" or "What dance is this?" and he's helping me out.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
So what I did was this isn't. I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 categories, sort of pop culture influence.
okay,
And what I'm going to do is there's a list. So you can pick movies, music, TV, or sports. Just pick a category.
you know what's tough is like I'll go sports and I know the least about sports and I used to know a ton.
I won't know
All
any
right.
of those.
So I have the top 10 Associated Press college football teams.
Okay.
Will Mike know 5 of them?
Yes.
Will I know the teams or will I know their placing? Because if it's placing, I
No,
know
of course
the
not the
teams.
placing. We know 5 teams in the top 10. I'm asking Keith if you'll know. He said yes, so do you know? Can you name 5 teams in the top 10?
Well, I could kind of.
Exactly.
I
It's
could-
pretty
I could
easy to get at
guess.
least
I
5.
don't think I can.
I want to say that Michigan just broke it though, didn't they? They were ranked like
That's one.
yeah, but I think they were just what they were
They went
15 and went
14
down
to
to 14.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's one.
Michigan, Ohio State. I've got to go Alabama.
That's 3.
It's 3. Penn State just dropped out, right? Or are they in it?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Oh, is he got Michigan? Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be
Alabama,
like-
Ohio State.
Damn.
So I guess that's not really.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
like I'm trying to
not-
like not mess up.
Sure, but I'm saying that's not really a question that like everyone would know.
I
but it's
used
sort
to.
of.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
sort of.
5-10 years ago, I'd know all of them.
All right, so how about this? Since August 31st, there have been 6 movies that were #1 at the box office. Could you name one of them?
I'll say that one with the one with Bradley Cooper right now. Is that #1?
It's actually been #2 the last 2 weeks, behind the same movie. The same movie's been #1 for 2 weeks. That movie's been #2.
I couldn't even tell you what else is in theaters.
I couldn't answer that either.
So Venom's been #1. the
Has
last
it
2
really?
weeks.
I've heard that's
Yeah.
That's the one that Eminem did soundtrack to.
I've
Okay.
heard that wasn't even that good. It's still number
Made
one.
$80 million last week.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about this?
What other movies? Can you give me a couple more?
Night School. I believe that's with Kevin Hart. The House with the Clock in its wall. I have no clue what that even is.
No clue.
The Predator.
Well, that's the one with Jack Black, the clock in the wall one.
The Nun.
Yeah, the Nun.
And then the weekend of August 31st, Crazy Rich Asians was #1 at the box office.
Okay.
That was next one on my list.
All right. How about this? This past week,
Yeah.
the Billboard Top 200. Can you name 10 artists in the top?
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry.
I think I could do that.
The top 10
Yeah.
albums. I have the 10 artists. Why is this hard to say? Billboard Top 200. Top 10 albums Can you name any of those artists?
I'm sure
crazy
I I'm sure I could say the artists. Yeah.
Jeez.
You can't name all 10. There's no way.
Not all 10, but I bet you I could get
How many do you think you can get?
5.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say Taylor Swift,
Okay.
Ed Sheeran.
Do you know what an album is?
Oh, I thought you said artist. You said the artist.
He did
didn't
say
you?
the
Yeah.
albums. He said
Yeah,
albums.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying
Oh, the
you're not
albums?
gonna know the albums. I'm saying the
No.
artist. I'm saying
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why it's hard to explain. The top 200 is albums.
Okay, yeah.
So I got the list of the top 10 of those
I don't know
albums.
any
They're
of them.
artists. Not you don't need the album name. I'm just saying the artists. So you were saying the right
Taylor
thing. You're just
Swift,
completely wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, so you're just laughing at me.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Good.
All right. I was
Here's what's crazy. So this is as of last week. Okay.
Yeah.
2 of the artists on there are passed away. I mean, they didn't die last week, but they're not alive. But they're in the top. 10.
There's those rappers that those.
One is.
The one is that. God, what should I say? That, like, I was say that like white lanky guy that was Ariana Grande, wasn't it?
Oh, that's so good that you said that. No, that's not.
Am I saying like someone else that?
Oh no, you're thinking of Mac Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's not in there.
So
I thought you were thinking
I
of.
thought he was talking about the guy she just dumped.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Pete Davidson because I actually have a question about him and you just ruined it.
See, dude, I don't mind being this oblivious to this stuff. Though.
I have no
So you don't.
Yeah,
Here, I'll give you a
I have
hint.
no clue,
Tom
man.
Petty's in the top 10. Believe it or not.
Oh.
And it-
Okay.
Yeah, they just did a re-release on him.
nothing.
Eminem.
Oh,
Eminem's
no,
one, right?
I
He
was-
hasn't got one yet.
No, I was gonna say that I know this guy because I'm Shawn Mendes.
No.
Is Eminem in there?
So
Eminem is in it.
See?
You might see. You
I
can't put the
win.
songs on Spotify. Those charts because those charts.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm just like what's
all-
on the radio. So maybe that's not it either.
I don't listen to radio. That's a problem.
Me neither. But like,
shares on it.
dude.
Dear God, really?
Okay, so how would I know this? You know this?
I could have named 7 of them.
Okay. Look, then let's do the rundown real quick.
Okay, Lil Wayne, Logic, Cher, Kevin Gates. I have no idea who that even is. I have no idea who that is.
So I play a Kevin Gates song here.
Well, I probably heard it then,
look
but
at
I.
you.
It's
I
called
couldn't-
Paper Chaser.
Drake, Eminem,
Oh,
Travis
Drake.
Scott, Post Malone, Tom Petty, and the Triple X dude that somebody killed.
Okay.
Yep.
Doing swimmingly. How about this? Do you know what's going on November 6th?
Yeah, election.
Okay. All right, and then I'll skip TV because you have no chance, right?
Probably not.
You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay, I got top 25 broadcast, the top 25 TV shows on broadcast TV, not football. So all sports have been, all sports, can you name any of them?
I would be like American Gladiator or something.
American Gladiator hasn't been on TV in years.
Yeah, that's what do you
I'm in American Ninja Warrior.
That's not on, well, isn't that on
Modern
USA?
Family. Modern Family.
Modern,
Modern
I watch
Family?
Modern Family.
Modern Family's on there, yes.
I didn't think it would still be
Tim
on there.
Allen one.
That's on there too, Last Man Standing.
Yeah, it's got to be one.
Network TV, you said?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't watch any of it either.
Yeah,
Actually, I think your wife watches the show on it.
I don't even know what my wife watches. How do you know?
How would I know?
Joe can play the same game with me.
The Voice, didn't she watch
The Voice. Oh yeah, The Voice.
Yeah, any of those singing
So-
shows.
But like honestly, I can't even think like that quickly enough to think of like what's on TV.
Talent shows. Those always went out.
This Is
reality
Us,
TV.
you know that one.
Yeah, but I don't know what's about.
It's about an hour, 40 minutes with
Yeah,
commercial.
it's about them. Known as us.
All right, and then forget that. I mean, this is
So it just shows how oblivious I am to either pop culture or just not current events. Because I am up on news and like I
all right. So then you'll get the last game. Okay,
the last game. Oh
it's
shit.
just three things: actor, athlete, politician.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one.
Brett Gardner,
Athlete.
Brett Kavanaugh.
None of the above.
Would you say actor? What? Athlete or
Politician.
politician?
Brett Butler.
I was athlete.
That's an actor.
That's an actor.
I was thinking Billy Butler, but I think Brett Butler's also a Kansas City Royal. Was.
No, George.
Okay.
George.
No, not George Brett. Billy Butler was definitely.
Yeah, that's not what I said though.
But then I think Brett Butler was also one too.
Google.
Anyway, we're
Anyway.
good. We're done now.
So-
Game's over.
So I don't think your goal was to just make me look.
No, I was.
I knew none of them.
No.
And we're supposed to be interviewing him, but I like having you to bounce off like Dude, I don't know. Like, it was floss, like this dance.
Yes.
That, like, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but you know what? Joe's gonna know it as soon as I text him. The floss.
Is that what the Buckeye people were doing?
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Kids do that.
Yeah, I can't
Kids
do
do
it.
that. Kids do that.
I don't pay attention to anything else but like family and Syphus. Family.
My
and
kids
Syphus.
are 22 and 28. I've been out of that realm forever.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a bad thing at all to not know any of that. It's a bad thing to know as much as I know. It's kind of.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's bad. It's just like it's. I choose what I want.
Well, I mean,
like I told
when your son gets older, you'll know more of that stuff because he's going to be playing it, listening to it, watching
That's
that kind
true.
of stuff. And you know, when my kids were younger, I can answer a lot of those questions. I can't answer any of them now. I have no clue.
Like I spoke to you today when we were working out together. When I have any downtime, it's guitar.
Yeah.
Like I want to do something else that's creative. That takes my mind off of it, and maybe, you know.
Is it acoustic guitar?
It's now acoustic. I used to have a Fender Strat, and I sold that a couple years ago.
What's that?
See, it goes both ways.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, he listens to music that doesn't really play guitar.
Yeah, it's like blues.
Or I'm just entertaining you.
Well, again, I'm not being
Comic
interviewed here, but
We've taken this over, Joe.
yeah, Jesus.
I have 3 crutches, man. I go here and I cook and I play drums. That's what I do.
Yeah, and I eat.
That takes my time.
So, Acoustic Electric, actually, Pastor Doug, gave me an Acoustic Electric, and so I've never had an Acoustic Electric, and so I just got a new amp, a loop pedal, and so when I'm not creating workouts or videos, actually, these things are a big hobby of mine. So it's time demanding, and when I don't know what's going on, I don't know what's going on. But let's go back to music.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I do get the rare occasion to go out and do something, I'd like to go see a concert. You just went to Glorious Sons.
Glorious Sons in Wellesley Arms.
And I like that new song that you suggested.
Yeah, I don't even know that it's probably not very new, but
no. And that's how many times I have to ask him, like, have you heard this song before? Is it new?
I'm so lost on
Yeah.
it.
well, the radio's weird. You
The
don't.
only way I know songs that come out is because I work out here.
Sure.
Otherwise, I would have absolutely no clue.
So going
Like
with
the band, like the concert we went to. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say going with you though, like
Yeah.
you have such like a deep knowledge of I don't know if it's 90s or 80s like rock, and you'll be like, oh, so and so, and I'm like, I have never heard of this
Yeah.
band.
70s, 80s, 90s, and then
Yeah.
I kind of fall off a bit.
So what? Give me like your top 5 bands.
Top 5. Number 1 is always going to be Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Number 2 is a band from Windsor called the Tea Party that I listen to all the time. Number 3 is probably Metallica, just because I've just grown up listening to them nonstop. Number 4, so that gets a little cloudy. Probably the Beatles. I'm a big Beatles fan. Dee Mercurio's going to kill me on that one, but yeah, I love the Beatles. And number 5 is, gosh, man, there's so many of them. Probably Pearl Jam at this point. Yeah, probably Pearl Jam right now.
I think it's tough with like our generation or younger to talk about like bands in general, because now that it's like artists and like Maroon 5, they were a band, but I feel like they're not really a band anymore.
They just toured. They were just there.
Yeah, but it's like they're broken
It's the
up.
Adam
and
Levine show.
They definitely
He's the most beautiful
changed
man in the world.
from being a band to
Pop.
making pop music,
Yeah,
which
bubblegum.
whatever.
So, your top 5. Like, I mean, so like, I knew that Train was one of yours, but like that's also in the same line with I think Maroon. Didn't like he's got a completely.
It's a completely different band.
Every album is a different band with that guy, right?
It's completely
Very,
different.
dude's talented. He can sing.
Crazy.
I don't know if I can do a top 5 right now.
No,
I like Train, I like Nirvana.
My top 2 or 3 are always. I mean, that's very easy. It's when you get past that. It's
Yeah.
And a band like John Mayer is one for me, but it's not a band.
Sure.
It's an artist. You know what I mean?
What about the John Mayer Trio? That's a band.
I saw them for my 22nd birthday. It was good. First row.
I think I like the Eagles and
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
You surprised me on some.
And they were just here yesterday.
Yeah.
Were they?
And I was gonna go. I've never seen them live, and I wanted to go, but it's not really the band, but it's the
Conversely,
whole
you can ask me my
ordeal.
top overrated bands in history, and they would be number
I
one.
posted something like that.
The Eagles would be number 1 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Nirvana's
it's-
one of mine.
I think
Really?
it's.
I just don't. It doesn't
Can't
sound.
get into it.
My
It's not
ear
your thing.
doesn't. No.
Yeah, not your thing.
I think it's just cool to say that the Eagles are overrated. I think it's just cool to say that, but
Or
or you just might not like them.
The one that's hated always, Nickelback. Everyone just jumps on Nickelback.
I mean, they're just not bad. That's fine to do that. But I mean, Don Henley is one of the best singers ever. So I don't know how you can be overrated if you're
That's true.
a good singer and you can play your instruments and you can write the music.
I think honestly, I mean, if you can play and sing, and I mean that shows like a true artist. I mean, if you're just,
I don't deny the talent. Everybody's got talent. If they're up there doing something like that, they have talent. I just,
yeah,
You don't have to have talent.
you could look.
you do.
I've seen plenty of people that didn't have
Yeah.
talent that I some reason paid money to see.
So we just recently saw a concert together, 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Never.
Have you ever heard their music before?
That's surprising to me. It's surprising to me.
30
What's
seconds
surprising?
to Mars.
Surprising that I wanted to go, number one, because when I started working out here.
Well, not recently.
When I started working out here, I mean, they were on all the time, and it was when my daughter was like totally into them, and my daughter was playing them in the house like nonstop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh god, this is so annoying. Just, I mean, listening to
This is
it
like
nonstop.
5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. She was always on. It was always on. It was always on, and I was just like, ah. And then I come here, and you're playing them here, and I'm going, oh god.
And I played it a lot.
Yeah, you played it a lot back then, and I was.
In the past.
I don't play it as much. 'cause I
No,
get
they're
too
not
much
nearly
shit
as
for it.
well. Not nearly as much as well. There's so many playlists on there now. It's kind of hard to play the same stuff over and over again anymore. But yeah, I was always like, my God, everywhere I go, I got to hear this band. And then one of their songs came on. I think it had to be The Kill, because that's the one that comes on, and I'm ready just to run through a wall. And yeah, I just started listening to it more and more and more. And yeah, they're pretty good.
Is that their tour?
It's a great drummer.
Yeah, but they're what, the longest touring band. That's the drummer told us this, right? He's like, they're the
They held the record, I
Yeah.
think, for the longest consecutive
tour.
like nonstop.
And they're the headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just them. And it was like, what was it? There was like 3 or 4 bands that opened for him. You knew them. The
Yes.
You guys sing Kamikaze.
Oh,
so
Walk
it's
the
like
Moon,
Walk the
wasn't
Moon,
it?
then, or Shoot the Moon, Rock the Moon.
No, it's Walk
Something
the
like
Moon.
that.
And then
The other group I knew
Yeah.
too.
Again, I had no idea.
they were good though.
They're okay. I mean, I knew the one song that they ended with because that was always on
Yeah,
here, so I
yeah.
knew what the song was. But I mean, I would never know it otherwise.
Yeah.
They opened for Linkin Park, and I saw them at.
I think my daughter said that. My daughter said that. I think that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Well, they used to be so much harder, like The Kill and that kind of like that was like hard rock, not hard rock, but screaming and much louder. Now it's again more poppy, techno. They don't have the guitarist. Okay, I guess we should say we were on stage watching it too. I guess
We were
didn't
on
say that.
stage.
We were on stage, backstage.
We were 5 feet behind the drummer.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even like there was like the backstage,
Yep.
and then there was like us.
Yeah.
So we got lucky with some tickets.
We just acted like we knew what we were doing.
yeah, and they're
we
like,
ended
you
up
can do
back
whatever
there.
you want,
Yeah.
and it was crazy, you know.
It was fun. Interesting way to see a show because you when you stand behind the stage like that, which is something I've never done before, other than like Harpo's, but it's something like that. I mean, you don't hear it the way everybody else is hearing it. You know, you hear it the way the band's hearing it, and it's so quiet based on
You're
know,
not
what
like-
everybody, what everybody on the
Yeah.
other side is hearing, and you know, you're watching them go and you're watching them work, and you. I mean, it's that drummer just goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a workout.
Yeah.
That dude was hammering it, and he's really good too. He was phenomenal that night. I was stunned watching how good he was. But yeah, that was an interesting way to see a show, and especially for you too, because you never saw him before.
No, and they were one of my favorites.
Yeah. That was cool.
Obviously.
That was cool how that worked out.
It was cool to see like what they see. Like that's how we were watching. We were like watching the crowd, not
Yeah.
them. Like I'm like pretty much on stage with them, but it felt like I couldn't like get into it too much because like everybody else was like executives and stuff like around
Yeah.
us. It seemed like our family
Yeah.
members, and they see it all the time. So it's just kind of like
Stole a drumstick.
pretty sweet. So did I have one too. So but that was really really cool and got to meet everybody.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a good night.
All right. So what was your first day like? Here?
First day. So go back to like I guess it kind of started honestly like in 2013, and I say that because I was paddleboarding Great Lake surf, right? And Brian was hammering me on different workouts and they were doing different stuff on the beach and all that kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's not for me, man. I've seen videos of people doing stuff like that, and that'll just die. So
Did you see our videos or
no, just I mean, I don't think he was talking about Syphus in particular.
Okay.
But he was just talking about just different workouts and how to get in shape and this kind of stuff. Because I was, gosh, I had to be. I have a picture I can post on that if you want. It's like I was like 320, I think, maybe 315, somewhere around there. I was quite large, And so I was out paddleboarding a lot with him, and it was cool, and I was digging it. And then in the winter, I was going up and talking to him a lot, and he says, you should come try this Syphus training thing. And I'm going, is that place that's over the same thing everybody says? Is that place over in 9 Mile by the Mercedes?
Well, they say that's a CrossFit, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, see, I didn't even know what that was. So, I mean, that's how naive I was with it all. And he's like, yeah, you should come, man. It'll be awesome. You'll be fine. You can do it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. And I watched some videos on it, and I was, checking out online and seeing what it was all about. And yeah, I started working for a company that literally was promoting wellness and working out and things like that on their sites all the time. And I was running the Michigan Ohio Valley for them. So I was running a large distributor network and running around all the time, looks like I do now. And I'm like, well, shit, I can't stand in front of all these people looking the way I do, because I mean they're all fit and they're all getting in shape and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I got to do something. So yeah, I just signed up for a Monday. I think it was a Monday 3:30 class, or 4:30 maybe. Didn't have anybody in here with me or anything like that. Just walked in, and Suzanne was the trainer. Okay. And you were working out the same time.
Okay.
You were working out at the same time.
I don't remember.
No, that's I do.
Yeah, I know you do. Some people I remember. Yeah.
I do. I tell you what, man. I'm over there against the wall, and Suzanne's like, all right, so don't worry if your body tells you got to stop. This is really hard, and you're going to be okay, and you're going to get through it. And Brian kind of told her ahead of time that I was coming in, I guess, and yeah, I was in horrible shape, man. It was brutal. Mm-hmm. And I remember after, 6 minutes, I'm like, what the hell am I doing to myself? I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was insane.
Looking back on it, do you think you went out too hard, or you just didn't know what to expect, like most people? Or
I think I think that happens to everybody here, right? Mm-hmm. I think everybody, like I brought a lot of people in here to work out with me that from out of town when we're here working and whatnot, and some of them are like fitness buffs and bodybuilders. They go out like a bat out of hell, and 20 minutes later they're up against the wall, just like dying, and they can't move. But Suzanne's like, she said something to me that day. She goes, if you come back in 2 days, I promise you, you'll never be this tired again. If you come back, you'll never be this tired again. I'm like, you're saying that now, right? And then I had to do the inchworm, right? So Mike's working out next to me, and his eyes were this big. I mean, it's like, where's 911? And I could see him looking at me, and he's right next. And I didn't know
he doesn't sound like me.
I didn't know he was the guy that I didn't know this was your business.
Oh, really?
I had no idea who you were. But yeah,
not like I expect you to know who I am
until after, because Suzanne's like, yeah, that guy right there, Mike, he's the one who owns it. That's his business. I'm like, oh, okay. So as I'm going, he's looking at me like, oh man, this guy's gonna die. I have a feeling that I was gonna be that one that says, I bet you this guy never comes back, because I certainly look like it. It took me 16 minutes to get to one side doing an inchworm.
Really? And
Suzanne had pity on me and said, okay, let's go on to the next one.
Really?
Yeah. And
she's not doing her job, no.
Yeah, right. No, and it was that was the hardest. I used to swim 5 to 10 miles a day.
I was going to ask you about that.
On the swim team, and I swam and swam and swam, and wow. I did that for years, and never in my life did I think that I would come to something like that. And I mean, it literally beat me down into nothing. I think my score was 180 my first time in, which is like probably an all-time low.
No,
pretty close.
It's like a 120 now or so.
Is it? Well, yeah, that's because Syphus is harder now.
Yes. So, what brought you back?
The feeling that I got my ass kicked.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what you like.
I was like that was ridiculous. I mean, it has to be better than that, and I have to be able to do more than that, because I mean, there's no way whatsoever that is the best I can do, and that's why I came back again. Plus, Brian would have shamed me into oblivion if I didn't. Well, and I had a 10-class pack, so yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
We hear that a lot though. Like I didn't want to leave that as like my performance on the turf, so I got to come back and do better.
It was so hard, and honestly, it was watching everybody else while I'm doing it. I mean, you were over here, and I don't remember who else was in there, but I mean, it was watching everybody do it, and I think it was right around the first. It was right around the March Madness, when it was March Madness time.
Copyright
infringement. Mayhem. Sorry.
So it must have been in March then.
Yeah, it was March 9th actually. I want to say I want to say it was like the next. It was like the next time I came in. Mm-hmm. Or maybe a week later that they were running the finals. I think that was when Jamie and Sarah won. Yeah, and I was watching that, and I was watching these people work out, and I'm just like, oh my God, look at these people go. Yeah. I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive. And, you know, you never would I have thought. I mean, and I saw stuff on the TV, and I, you know, watched stuff on ESPN and whatnot with the CrossFit games and all that crap like that. And they're all like big, meaty, you know, meatheads and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, God bless them. But I never thought that I would see people compete working out. And at the time, I mean, I'm a competitive guy by nature. And other than going to play golf, I don't really have anything to compete in. And I looked at this as another avenue or a way that I can compete with myself, compete with other people, compete with the board, compete with everything. So, yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's a long time for me to be committed to anything this long. Working out wise is crazy. But yeah, I lost 60 pounds. I think in the first. I was like I said, I walked in at 315, and then I think that was in March, and I think by July or August I was down to 252. And, you know, and you yo-yo, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I like to cook. I like food, and craft beer is delicious. Yeah. So I have my problems with that,
but you're still doing it. And
you're still consistent. I mean, earlier in the year, actually, I mean, with the travel schedule that I had with work, and I'm gone all the time, and I live in hotels a lot, and back in the beginning of June, I was back up to 292 again. Oh, really? And that got me really pissed off. And last time I stepped on the scale was a couple weeks ago. I was down to 268, 270, right around there.
Is that swamp factor, you think?
I think so. I think a lot of it had to do with the swamp factor. The trainers over there, they don't let you quit even though you can't move a plate on the turf. You know, and they like to, you know.
Like, what do you say? Quit? Like leave early?
No. They just it's just a go. You know, go. Don't bitch about it. Just go. You know.
I mean, there's a good time and place for that.
Yeah, oh, totally, absolutely. And you know, Becky's been great over there. Tim's always great over there. You know, Sue's great over there. All the trainers are good. And when you mix in that element of the heat, whew, man, there's nothing like it, honestly.
Yeah,
you can lose weight just standing in the place.
Yeah, monsters. It's crazy. And then in the winter, you got space heaters all around you.
I came over here 3 weeks ago, and I was working out, and there was, I think it was an MIM. That's the plate push to three, a reverse plate push, right? And then the walk. And I couldn't
reverse wall.
Yeah. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with myself because it was so fast. It was so fast, and I'm so used to over there. I'm like going like this, and I'm about to fall on my face. It was crazy. Yeah.
But that's why it's like each one, like I said, it's so unique. It's got its own, you know, characteristic. And if you go there in December, we'll probably be sticky in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
But it's not as sticky as.
No. But it does stick up in here in the winter though, because that's when it gets really humid in here.
I'd say, I mean, there's not many people who have belonged to all the turfs like you or myself.
Yeah.
Has, you know, it's like, so we can speak from like, that's what this one's like, and it's changed probably in the last couple of years too. But I feel like everyone's still got that same thing that connects us all, which is Syphus, but it's like whatever drives us, whether it's competition or the community, you know.
Yeah, everybody, especially when you got Turf Wars coming up next week, and that's, everybody ramps up for that. You know, it's a big deal, and it's cool, man. It's, you know, it's a whole team thing again, right? I mean, we're not getting any younger, so you know, high school sports for a lot of us was our avenue, and some of you guys were fortunate to play some college ball or some college something, and for the rest of us, man, we were high school athletes or something like that, and you know, we did what we did in high school, and now we've got nothing else. This is great for it.
Well, that's what this is. This is the sport that you can still continue to play until you're in your 80s.
And I can't run, so I'll never run. God bless you, Joe. Can't do it.
Oh, jeez. So Joe dropped a plate on his toe yesterday, and I get a picture on my phone. It's like
brutal.
It's gruesome looking. And you got a half marathon in 6 days.
Well, yeah, it's Sunday.
I think it's broken. I'm not a doctor, but just by looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how this guy's walking around. He still works out today.
That's insane.
At 5:30 in the morning. Like, after we were exchanging texts last night, I'm like, I didn't think you were even going to run like 7 days from now. How did you work out on that? Or why did you work out on that?
It hurt. I kind of walked on like the side of my foot.
But
why?
Like what's the point in doing that? I mean, like, I guess you maybe getting like an upper body workout or something.
Speak on that one.
Because if I would have sat here for 2 hours I would have, my day would have been miserable.
So it means that much to your day.
Yeah.
No, I love that, hearing that. It's like, it's such a part of my day and my routine, which we've talked about forever, that you need to have this vitamin to start your day.
It would have just been second guessing not doing it all day. And
wow, that's
I didn't think about it.
Cool.
I can speak on it. I mean,
I didn't think about it once after I did.
And you know what's even cooler though? Like, we talk about score, we talk about form. I'm not someone who always keeps score, and I don't think you necessarily have to. But he has the standard that I need to keep a score. I need to keep a score.
Yeah.
He's got 1 foot, and he knows he's going to take a dive. He still kept a score,
Well,
which I think is awesome.
For me, that was, I think, if I'm going to work out, I think it would be disrespectful to everyone I'm working out with if I didn't take a score.
Yeah, I get that to a point, unless you tell everybody ahead of time, hey, I'm coasting, don't base your pace or.
But I wasn't.
Energy. No,
I wasn't.
No, I know.
You know, I didn't go in there, or I didn't start working out planning on not doing my best. You know,
Right.
I mean, I did what my body let me do as my best, but I just think that's just disrespectful. If in that situation, not all the time.
Yeah.
Like you said,
I don't. Yeah.
but it would have been if I would have.
Did you tell people you're hurt at least?
No,
Weren't they wondering, like, Joe, what's going on with you today?
they figured it out.
Like you're like hobbling along. Jeez. Don't worry, I'm fine.
yeah. I mean, before I started coming here, I have a notorious bad right foot. I've had all kinds of things wrong with it. I was going to physical therapy the year before I started coming in here. I'm balancing on balls and stuff like that and trying to strengthen up the right foot because I roll it all the time. I don't really roll it at all anymore. But I still have issues with it. And arch is extremely high, bones are messed up, and they want to do all kinds of stuff to it. But earlier, let's say May, beginning of June, something like that, I heard it, and for
Hurt it?
I heard it bad.
Okay.
And
Do you think he said heard?
I didn't think he said. I think you
I
heard
did not
it.
heard
Like,
it.
you
It
snapped
hurts.
it.
It hurts. I literally felt the arch go like this and just stretch. Like I felt it do that. So I literally couldn't do plate pushes. I couldn't even do toes. I literally couldn't even do them. So I was writing my own workouts and going to the gym and doing it that way. And I mean, it was good for me because I got to work on what I wanted to work on, and I was able to do it without the pain, which was great. And I was still doing something. Of course, I was over at Harrison Township for the majority of the time, so it was 90 degrees, and I was still getting a good sweat on, right? So, I mean, the workouts were still great, and and all that. But yeah, it's the other one who did that one time was I don't know if you remember it, or if you do, but Bill.
Oh, Bill.
When Bill, remember he was playing soccer or something with his kid, and his calf was like completely blown out or something. Like the bruise was all the way down. He comes in here working out on it like the next day.
Yeah.
It was, I was stunned. It was,
Bill's the most competitive person I know.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one more competitive. Like, he's someone I want on my side if I'm in like a back alley in a fight. Like this, we're gonna come out together.
It's amazing. It's amazing what because he literally he was doing stuff like on everything was single leg.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything on it. It was so brutal looking. But I mean, sometimes it's funny what you're able to get through if you really want to get through it. You figure out a way to do it. I don't think anything's a testament to that more than this, because everybody's hurting. Everybody's hurting all the time. I mean, you're sore. You're not hurt from injuries, but injuries.
You choose the pain. Yeah. It's
you're just sore.
Not injuries.
Yeah, you're just sore. I mean,
but that's life. I mean, you're gonna have.
When you do 500 pagodas in like 3
Sorry,
days.
honestly, the last 2 weeks you see all the repetitions.
Pagoda friendly.
It's because I just focused solely on turf wars pretty much last month, and I just recycled a lot of stuff. But you guys can be a little stubborn too, though, don't you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, for sure. I mean,
my wife looks at me all the time. Why are you going there today?
Yeah.
You can barely walk. I get out of bed and I can't walk down the hallway, or I can't go down the stairs to get something. And she's like, "Why are you going?"
This is not normal. Like most people who work out and do Syphus, they're like they can't get out of bed. That's not. I just don't want people. Like,
No. I broke both of my elbows. I broke my wrist. I've had casts on both of my feet. I've cracked my skull. I've cut my fingers off, for Christ's sake. I only have one finger that works on this hand. So what? Things get hurt. And when you get yourself to 315 pounds, your body reacts in a bad way, and things get strained, and you compensate, and you're doing things the wrong way, and then when all of a sudden you start doing things like this and you're doing things the right way, you know, it reacts to it a little bit.
I mean, let's go deeper. I mean, if you didn't do these things consistently and as frequently and you just kept putting weight on, you might not live to a certain...
Oh, totally.
So you're not able to...
It's totally worth it in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts, but, you know, whatever. Everybody's sore.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what it's sore, not...
Yeah, everybody's sore.
Yeah.
Everybody's sore.
Because I don't have any... Gosh,
That's what's crazy is you start, you know, let's say you start, I don't even know what a pain would be. Let's say you just start to run. You never run before you start running. Then what would hurt? Like your like...
But usually it's like
feet or something?
It's
Or
called
shins?
the tibialis and then, calves, like that,
Okay.
or hamstrings the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then like you're a year into running, your hamstrings aren't going to hurt like that anymore. 5 years later, you can still hurt or be sore the same way you were the first time you came here.
Like
That's
crazy.
insane.
That is,
insane.
yeah, and it's just a matter of mixing up like whatever tasks we're doing, or what do we like something like denser. Like we don't do it frequently, but then we do it like, oh my gosh, like you're sore. Oh, it was the tutor and the scalawag we did the other day. Like I was like sore in like the strangest area, and it's just a way of doing things in a like non-traditional, unorthodox way that's safe.
Yeah.
It's not like you're having to react to someone like a
No. It's not. You're not getting beat up. I mean, you're just doing the exercise, and you know.
And if you're doing it with the right form, you're not gonna risk getting hurt because, like,
Yeah.
if you're avoiding getting deep on a squat, then your back.
I mean, I've never hurt myself I've never hurt anything doing this.
Yes.
You know,
No.
I mean, things get sore, and you know,
Yeah.
old injuries, you know, maybe sometimes rear their ugly head again. But I mean, I've never hurt myself doing
And
this.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I've never gotten hurt actually doing this, to my knowledge. I mean, you probably didn't until you dropped the plate on your foot. I mean, it's possible that you did, but like, it's a fluke if you get hurt doing this. It's usually some kind of pre-existing injury for me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what it is.
So.
Or I get if you are stubborn and you go all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. There's definitely been times where I shouldn't have. Or I probably shouldn't have.
It's like, I think it's stubborn, but at the same time I admire it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
like that's badass because I wouldn't do that. So I don't know if I like admire your like not hard-headedness,
Especially
but like
people that go like 30, 40, 50 days in a row. And there's some people that do that. That's just, man, oh man, that's awesome.
I just this is a little off topic, but we just had Kurt Hoffner come in. He's
55.
55. He was here July, so that's 3 months ago, and still posted whatever it was, like 700 something.
That's killed it that day. I was
You
there,
ever
yeah.
shake his
That's
hand?
crazy.
Like he just painted it at my house. Like he's got like the strongest grip of anybody I've like ever shook hands with. So 55 is a different ballgame.
55
Pounds.
Oh, that's what he's using?
Yeah, he just comes in. I'm using 55. Haven't done this in 3 months. Posted 700.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at him go. It's like Brian.
Well, Brian's like
Brian's an animal.
Yeah, it's a different breed. It's so fast. Like, all right, so I'm gonna have the rundown of things that I usually ask people.
Yeah. Totally.
What is your favorite circuit that you think you excel in and you enjoy doing?
My favorite circuit?
Circuit
Glute
or
plate.
workout? Oh, glute plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is that? I know that it is because I've gone with you a couple times.
Yeah, because I'm not doing anything single leg. That's number one. I'm not doing any peg legs. That's one reason. I don't know. I think it's because cardio is not my buddy, and that actually just relaxes me a little bit when I'm doing that. Yeah.
And you, as far as I've seen you, you don't drop the plate either.
No.
Yeah. So the glute plate is a
No, in
circuit
fact,
that
the last time we were
do.
at Harrison Township, the last one he did, it was so hot and so sweaty
Yeah.
that I had Becky grab me another plate, and I didn't put the other one down. I switched it
That's
because I
sweet.
couldn't hold on to it anymore because it was
Wow.
soaked.
No one would
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, that's cool.
No, I ain't putting it down. Nope, not putting it down.
Now, what about your nemesis task? Like, you see it, you're like, not that you can't do it because of injury, but like.
No, I know.
you too.
Well, I mean, I think I probably have the same nemesis tasks as a lot of people, but I think tasks that really irritate me that I just can't seem to get right are ones like peg leg. Those kill me. They absolutely kill me. It takes me forever, and it just totally kills me. And I don't know. It's just maybe it's probably a weight thing. I mean, I'm still 260 to 270, so it's like it's difficult for me to do that one. That one's always a pain.
Do you stay on the 1 foot almost exclusively?
No.
Okay.
No, I do one here and one there.
No. What I'm saying is, are you able to maintain that for all 6 reps? Stay on the one leg?
No, that's what bothers me about it. So like when I'm doing,
is peg leg's not 10?
that was 8, but whatever.
It is 8.
Yeah. So when I
So
do
we're
like,
both wrong. I mean, he's right.
so when I do flamingos and things like
Yes,
that, I can maintain on the one the whole time. But
I was just gonna say it's a lot harder. And I'd understand why it's hard.
peg leg can't do it.
No, I just remembered I did 10 ramp ups. Never mind.
He just totally inserted that, but I know what he's saying. He did 10 ramp ups on a day, like Friday or whatever it was. Yeah.
I think
That was totally
Inchworm was always the one that I looked at because that's usually, so a lot of times obviously you take some of the harder ones and they're a little bit later because guys with the lower boulders and stuff like that, like guys and girls that can't really get those ones done. Once in a while they're in there, but Inchworm was always the norm. Inchworm is always
It's a standard.
It's a standard
that
test.
and boulder and
And
Diablo.
that one forever was absolutely just. I mean, so that one workout that I came up with, the no rest in between the lines thing.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
So I took it to the extreme when Inchworm came up because I hated myself for having to stop all the time doing an Inchworm. So I went to 4 without stopping.
First time we did it last year in December?
Yeah. Okay. So I went to 4 without stopping. On the way back, Terry was here training. On the way back, I got to 2, and I had to stop. I couldn't go anymore, and I got pissed off, and I went back to 4.
Okay.
And I did it again, and once again I got to 2, and I couldn't go anymore. I went back to 4.
So that was your original idea for it.
Yeah, that was the original
And
idea.
I was like, we can't do that to people.
You
we'll
probably
lose
can't.
10 members.
You probably can, but that was again. I like it when it's 90 degrees, right? So I like it when it's a little extreme and a little crazy. So
Yeah.
I kept going back, and finally I got to 1 on the 3rd try, on coming back. But,
Is that the one where we put in if you do stop, you got to do venoms?
Yeah.
Is that what
I just switched that up, which I thought was a better, not better. No,
And I don't think many people stop. Honestly, I don't think.
It was.
it's motivating.
You got
It
this
is.
week too.
It was cool though.
It
It is cool though because exactly what I told you when I was thinking of it. It is amazing watching the thought process of people
Right.
when they're sitting down at the line and how they're doing things and what they're going to do. It's kind of fun to watch that.
So that kind of proves like one of my like philosophies on form first. It's like, if you can go hard and get to the end of it, why not take a little bit of rest? Where some people will insinuate, at least with me, like, oh, what are you resting for? Go.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather do it full force.
I just don't want to stop. I hate stopping. There's a couple times when you just have to, but I mean, I hate it. I hate myself when I have to do it. It drives me crazy. But yeah, nemesis task is peg leg.
Yeah, stopping wise, I'd rather stop when I absolutely need to versus
When you can recruit more in your
Yeah,
movement.
yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
I understand that.
But then when you have that workout like that, I did notice I definitely rested more between tasks,
Right.
so that I didn't have to
Right.
stop. Because when I did that, the first time, that's irrelevant.
You
But,
proved to yourself it was Halo or something like that. What was it? The task? You told me.
well, we had the end with
Skirl?
Skirl, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
it was
really
really
tough.
hard.
There was like 3 ones that were
That's a
real
tough
tough. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
That's a good workout. I mean, that was your idea.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
And then it was funny is that day is when the Venom soundtrack came out.
Yeah.
And I sent you Venom.
Is that kamikaze and all that on that?
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
yeah.
And it was that day that workout was on. I was out of town, but when I saw it come up, I sent it to him because I'm like,
How
this will be
perfect
perfect for
fit.
today.
And I like the pick your poison ones too.
Everyone. I mean, that's like
Who doesn't,
across the
right?
board. That's everyone's
I like when Syphus knowledge comes into play because that's cool. People,
Yeah.
when you've been doing it a while, you kind of
Show your experience.
Yeah. Those are fun.
I mean, you send me, not frequently, but like when you're going through like your injuries too, like, hey, I designed this, and like every now and then I'll do the math for you, be like, yeah, you scored this,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it goes up to that. So
Yeah, because I get to write my own.
yeah,
So
that's cool. You got a question for him at all? Like, I got more for him.
Cool.
What's your favorite like slope range?
higher the better.
Higher the better. So
Higher the better.
50.
Yeah, the more tasks like any kind of boulder push, I'm down.
The less
Yeah.
the less credit. You
Yeah.
know what's funny is the last couple slopes that have been low have been deceivingly
Yeah.
low.
Well, today's where you're talking about, like today's was just a warm up, and that's why. Oh, it's over there.
It's over there, but it's because there were 6 runs in the Matterhorn, so that just kills
took
the
it down.
slope. But
I think
there's still some tough stuff.
I didn't have a hard time that much with today's breathing like I thought I would when I looked at the slope number. But you know, I like. I mean, by nature, I like the power tasks, right?
Sure,
me
so,
too.
you know, like one I haven't seen, you haven't done many in a while. I mean, we were not commenting about the other day. There hasn't been many boulder pushes lately.
There is next month.
Is there next month?
Greco.
Yeah. I mean, anything like that. I love the boulder pushes, the single leg boulder push, Grecos, all of them. I can do those every day. I love them.
They're back tasks. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's to me that's like the true test of like your Syphus, you know, like what you've put together, whether it's form or, you know, strength, flexibility.
Yep.
What is your ideal environment when it comes to Syphus? Like maybe the crew that you go with, like is it got to be the music? Is it like?
Well, I mean, music would be great, but I mean, you can't always have you can't always have the best. You know.
Play your playlist.
No, I know. You know, I mean,
We had a Tool day one time.
Did we?
no, I don't think we.
No.
No, that was a Zeppelin day. But
No,
yeah,
I'm saying me and you. There was no one else here, and I played
the CD?
your.
Oh, did you play the
Yeah.
one that I brought it from
Yeah,
Mike? Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the music. The
I
music
laughed,
makes
but
it.
I mean, he had a great time.
I can see why that makes people's ears bleed.
Syphus starts when you're at your house.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts when you're at your house and you're on your way here.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me,
You
it's
know-
always the night before.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know when you're walking in the door, if you're gonna have one of those days where it's like, oh god, the clock's made out of quicksand, it's not moving anywhere, and you have those days when you're, holy cow, we're done already. You know.
Yeah.
You know when you walk in how you're gonna do. I don't think it's really. I've gone by myself. I mean, 3:30s here. I was by myself most of the time. You know, so I've gone by myself plenty of times. I've gone twice in a day. You know,
We
a dozen
did that.
times, yeah. And you know, and I've worked out with there's 14 people in there or 9 people. You know, it's all what's in my head when I walk in the door. Really, I mean, sometimes you get people around you where you know you're working out and you get a little distracted with you know questions or what they're doing or you know or something like that. And but for the most part, man, if you walk in with the mindset that you know and you have the right mindset, you're gonna do well.
I think I agree with you saying it starts at home.
Yeah, it
I
totally
mean,
does, man.
If I wait till I'm here, it's too late.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
All right. Last question.
Yep.
What does form first mean to you?
Well, I find it a successful workout when none of the trainers have to correct me on anything.
You've told me that.
And that's, I guess, I mean, I spent the first while here just probably just like everybody else, you get caught up with your score, you know, and you get caught up with looking at it every day and you're up and down, you're up in green, red, you know, all that kind of stuff like that. And then it kind of changed up for me towards the end of last year, actually. Kathy, who's awesome, her and I were talking one day about form and scores and how fast you go. And then when you came back, watching you go back at it, and especially when the Mayhem finals, it was very apparent. I mean, it just rings true to me that if you're gonna do it, you have to do it the way that it's designed to do, because you know, can I do everything exactly the way you can do it? No, I'll never be able to. You know, can someone like, you know, Frank over at Harrison Township, the man, right?
Still does it.
He still does it, right? Can he bend and flex like, you know, other people? No, of course not. But, you know, so his form is obviously going to look different than mine, and mine's going to look different than yours. But as long as, you know, I'm not getting told, stop bending over when you're doing a squat. You know?
Same thing every day.
Yeah. As long as when I'm doing a crook, you know, Kathy or Tim or Becky or you somebody will say, hey, you're doing that really good. I mean, you know, and that's cool to me.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. So, I mean, you just, like I said, I mean, different body types for everybody, right? I mean, I can't bounce across the floor, you know, doing bulldogs like
You can improve it from where you started.
Yeah, totally, and it gets better all the time. And when I stopped worrying about the score, and I stopped worrying about all that stuff, is when everything got better.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna look different no matter what.
Yeah.
But everyone's going to, if everyone's doing it properly, everybody's gonna have integrity, and you could look 5 different ways.
Yep.
And all be doing the same. And that's
Yeah,
what
when I'm
that's
doing
what
it,
really comes down to.
it's cool because when you're in the middle of doing something like a Greco, you know, and I find myself stepping up, and then my other foot goes way past the plate now, whereas before that was almost impossible. You know, now I'm getting more and more able to do that more and more. I mean, it's internal accomplishments really is what it is.
Well, you've been here almost 5 years.
Yep.
I think that factor that you said, like you scaled back the score and paid attention to form first, that comes with the longevity and the career to which you've had.
Yeah, totally.
Because it doesn't sink in right away, and it's not supposed to, because you're supposed to chase the score because it gets you in shape and it gets you hooked.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because the last time when you and I went twice that day, I was at Harrison that morning and I scored like a 5:49, right? And I came here at 3:30 because I was just stressed out and wanted to come and work out again. That's what I wanted to do. And Mike's in here and he goes, "You're coming back again?" And he goes, "I was thinking about going." I'm like, "Well, get on the turf. I'm bitching about it. Get on and do it." All right, yeah, I'll do it. All right, fine.
Well, so he was, I don't know if you were by yourself, maybe it was one other person, but I went at 5:30 or 6:30, which is like rare. I do like once a month.
Yeah.
And then
No, I think there was one other guy with us. I don't remember what his name was, but there was one other.
Oh,
guy.
in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that day.
I do.
Yeah.
Thursday too.
And then I came here that night with him, and you were playing your stuff.
Yeah.
And my stuff, and we were into it, and I scored a 6.99, right? The same friggin' workout. So it's crazy how that works out.
What? What are you cracking up?
I'm just cracking myself
Yeah.
up. Saturday, you had a playlist that you made for Saturday.
Yeah.
So they start to work out. He gives his playlist to Tim. He has to go, Tim, play it. Well, Tim can't get it to work, so there's no music going on for like the first minute and a half. And Mike's right on the end. And I was standing here, and
I was going to do push or pink, but I didn't like.
I told him, I go, this is probably better than yours.
Yeah. He's always getting a dig, man.
Nice. Yeah. When the radio doesn't work right away, that's a bummer.
Yeah, you just had the same thing.
That's Friday. Yeah, the radio didn't work right away. That's all right.
Music does make a huge difference.
Yeah, and you had a new guy in here that day too, and I was like, man, I feel bad for that guy because it was just quiet silence. You just heard this.
Be like, this is how this workout goes. Or like you said, March Mayhem was like your second workout, and we talked about that when we were reviewing it. I can't imagine what I would think if it was like my first or second time in here, but like people like cheer for your workouts. And
Well, that was crazy. I mean, they were going at it, and it was Bill and Michelle, I think, right? Yeah, Bill and Michelle and Sarah and Jamie.
Yeah. And you had a newbie, is what you were going to say, right?
During the final, someone walked in to redeem their Groupon, and she's like,
I don't think she's been in.
No, she came in.
Oh, she did?
She came in the very next
scared
game.
her away.
She's like, what's going on? I mean, because everyone was out here. She's like, I'm like, I go, it's not normally like this.
Every Saturday.
I go, normally they just on one side.
Can you imagine walking in? We're going to Harrison when everybody's on the rafters and everything watching. Yeah. Terror Dome, man. That'd be fun.
All right, man. I guess one last one.
All right.
What would you say to somebody who's, I guess, timid to come in and wants to get their foot in the door?
Well, it's the same thing that Suzanne said to me. Honestly, if you'd come back, and you keep coming back, you'll never be as tired as you will the first time. And it is a workout that, I mean, it has. I mean, Syphus is harder now than it was when I started doing it. I think you'll even.
Yes.
I mean, the workouts are just tougher.
It's more methodical.
Yeah, I mean, it just got tougher over time, and it never gets easier. I said it before. It never gets easier. You just get better at it.
You say that all the time, and I attribute that. Yeah.
It's totally true. It never gets easier. Ever gets easier. I mean, it just, 2 days ago, I think I scored like a 400. I mean, it's whatever. Again, it just never gets easier. It's a hard workout, man. It's just hard. And I mean, the best thing about it are the people, and the group that's around you and the community that's around you. And it's fun. And yes, it's kind of cultish at times, but that's okay. That's a good thing. Everybody's at least being culty about working out. Right?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. Yeah. I mean, what better?
Yeah, right. I mean, you could be doing something totally different. So this is good. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on.
Anytime.
We'll do it again soon. And actually, the next Form First podcast, we got a really VIP guest in my wife.
Oh, really, really VIP guest. Meredith.
It's my wife. I mean, if I don't say that, I mean, shit, we're going to go over
awesome.
the marathon to see how his potential odyssey is going to be on the road.
Is this the free press one or something?
Yeah. So he's doing the half. She's doing the full. She's had a different plan of attack.
Yeah, usually there's a Lions home game the same day as that, and there's always and we're always down there tailgating. We see all the runners come through. We're all completely tailgated.
Tailgate. I was like,
We're tailgated. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's it. You guys have been watching the Form First podcast.